Are you wondering if your non-compete is enforceable? I'm Cassandra. I'm a transportation attorney. I've worked in the transportation industry my whole career. And in this video, I want to help guide you through an analysis of your non-compete so that you can try and figure out if it's enforceable. Some disclaimers. First of all, I'm not your lawyer, and if you're kind of doing this as DIY, so you've got to know that the language is going to change things. The facts of your employment with your employer is going to change things, and each state law will change what I'm saying. So all I'm doing is teaching you how to DIY your analysis. First, you're going to scan the document and you're going to look for the words non-compete. And I want you to look for how long the non-compete is going to last for. Usually they call it a restrictive period, and it usually will be less than 2 years. If it's 6 months, I would say stop right now because there's a good chance that this thing's enforceable. If it's 2 years, there might be some negotiation here. Now, the next thing I want you to look at, I want you to look at the geography. Does it say all of the United States? Now, some states will enforce that because we're in the logistics industry and transportation industry, and a lot of the clients are all over the United States. Some courts in some states will enforce it. Some courts will say no. Some will want some type of restriction on the geographic scope. I think that you should Google non-compete in the state you live in and see what articles you can read about it. There are pretty good articles about each state written by good attorneys. I also think that you should analyze. Let's see, what did my other ones say? See if there is anything in the non-compete that talks about the type of role that you can work in. Perhaps it only says that you just can't work for a competitor if you're working a similar role, but you could if you're working in operations or something like that. That would be helpful to know. And I understand that these documents, they are difficult to read, incredibly difficult, but do the best you can. And if you can't, it's worth spending $500 to $1,000 to get an attorney's opinion. I'm not the attorney for you. I represent companies. I'm just putting out this video because I know a lot of my friends out there, they need some kind of guidance on this topic. And I've been in similar shoes as well. I've had employers try to enforce me to sign non-competes as well. And I can see why they do it. Give the employers a bit of a break, guys, because they are trying to protect the amount of money that they've invested in recruiting you, training you, and recruiting the customers, building software, confidential information. So there is a lot that goes into it. But I think there's a happy medium as well, probably between the parties. I think that maybe 6 months duration of a non-compete would be fair, depending on the role and how much money you receive for signing it. I think that if you've been terminated and you received a severance, pretty good chance that the non-compete is going to be enforceable in there. But, you have to check each state law. I hope this is helpful. You can see how gray everything is. It all depends on the facts, the compensation, the state laws. So what you should do is negotiate up front on these non-competes. Try your hardest to reduce the amount of time that you can't work for a competitor, reduce the geography, reduce the role that you can work for a competitor or you can't work for a competitor. That will help significantly because at the end of the day, I always ask myself 2 questions when I'm forced to sign a non-compete. 1, what if they fire me? Because a non-compete most likely is enforceable, or you have to pay a lot of money to have it enforced. The second question is, what if a better opportunity comes up with a competitor and there's more money, maybe it's a different role, who knows? But I need to understand, how much am I committing to this particular company? Those are the questions you really need to ask yourself. I hope this is helpful. I'm Cassandra.